The Soybean School on RealAgriculture.com is brought to you by Pride Seeds, Ingenia Herbicide, and Cruiser Max Vibrance Beans.
Kelvin Hepner with Real Agriculture at Morden, Manitoba for this episode of the Soybean School. Pleased to be joined by Bryce Rampton, seed agronomist with Syngenta. And Bryce, we're standing in a soybean field to discuss rolling. Why don't we begin with the why part of why a soybean grower should consider rolling?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. This spring, with a lot of the challenges that we've had with rolling, I think a lot of growers are saying, well, why do we roll in some cases? Or do we need to roll in every situation that we have? And I think that's a really good question, a really valid question. You know, if you're in an area where maybe you can make a real smooth surface prior to planting, you don't get a lot of disturbance with your drill or your planter, well, maybe you don't need to. But I think for most growers, it's kind of inevitable that we have rocks, we're gonna have clumps of soil, we're gonna have ridges from our furrows and planting, so we need to push that down to get those bottom pods. So it's likely not going away anytime soon for a lot of growers. So that's the primary reason why we roll, is just to smooth out that surface. The secondary kind of benefit from rolling that we kind of try to use is seed to soil contact, improving that using a rolling application. So I think with soybeans in general, they imbibe moisture between 12 to 48 hours. They imbibe moisture, and we want that to be as uniform and as complete as possible. And a lot of the times that we run into it, where that seed will imbibe about halfway and then start to dry out. And as soon as that happens, we need some rain. We need something to carry it through that entire germination. So if that doesn't happen, then that seedling can die. So a lot of the times we want to make sure our seeding pass is ideal as possible to set that up for it. But it doesn't always happen. Ideal isn't always there. And that's where we start to see, open furrows, poor seed to soil contact, that loose soil around there with not enough moisture. So a roller can smooth over a lot of different problems out there, make that a little bit firmer around that seed and retain a little bit of moisture. So I think in general, we know why we roll. Most people are on board with that. A lot of the questions that come up are, what timing should I be doing this at? And what are the different risks associated with that?
And so, speaking of timing, there are two main intervals?
Yeah, that's right. So, 2 for sure. Some people even have 3. We have some growers that have had some success with rolling before planting, which is really interesting. It can work very well if you get out there and roll and come in with a low disturbance seeding unit like a disc drill or a planter. Watch out there is if you have rocks, so you can kick out a rock with a disc pretty easy and you have to roll anyways, so just to watch out there. By far and large, the most common one is immediately after planting. So we usually like to recommend that 2 to 3 days after planting or less, to get out there and get that field rolled if that's your situation. Main risk there is if you wait too long, and years like this is a great reason for that recommendation, is if we get a lot of heat, a lot of moisture, and that germination happens fast, we get that emergence happening fast, 5 to 6 days, well, those plants could be pushing to the surface. And as soon as we get that hypocotyl arch or that hook stage, you try to go over with the roller, well, you could snap that hypocotyl just below the surface and snap off the developing growing point on that as well, killing the seedling. So there is a bit of a risk there. Other risks that we've definitely seen this year with, pre-emerge or post-planting rolling has just been, we had a lot of moisture, a lot of surface moisture, and especially in high clay soils, when we went over that, we compressed that topsoil, and all this wind and heat we've been having dried it out, and we had a real heavy crust, almost just concreted it. So we've had some emergence challenges there. Other cases, we're working it to dry it out, right, just to get onto the field. So a couple passes, we didn't have a lot of residue left on the soil surface. And by the time we got the drill over it and now the roller, it was just powder, right? Just kind of pulverized all of the aggregates that were left. And now we're seeing blowing, filling in those furrows. Now plants are coming up and we're seeing sandblasting. So we can avoid both of those different things. It's always easy in hindsight to say, well, we shouldn't have done that, but we can always wait for those plants to come up out of the ground. So post-emergent rolling would be that last timing that we're talking about. It's a little unnerving the first time that you do it. Typically, you start to, you get the plants out of the ground and now we're going to go and flatten them. It's a little uneasy, but it does work very well if we target the right time and the right day to do it. So we say V1 to V3, so first to third trifoliate. I like to target more towards that first trifoliate, just they seem to fold over a little bit better. The third trifoliate, they get a little thicker stem, you get a bit more snap. Really hot afternoon, so 25, 30 degrees Celsius, those plants are going to be a bit more rubbery. They're going to fold down, pop back up, versus maybe a morning or evening where they're more crisp and you can get more snap. So even if you do get that perfect day, it still pays to get off the tractor and just see how many plants you're losing. Typically you do lose some, especially behind the tractor tires where you're getting a little bit more pressure on them, you get some snap. If you've got a field like this where you got lots of plants, losing 1 to 2,000 isn't a big deal, but just make sure that if you're getting down to more marginal levels that you're well within reason. So don't feel pigeonholed into rolling right after planting. We do have another option post-emerge.
Okay. As you mentioned, though, right after planting is the most common, but we hear about it in other areas where there is more rolling in crop. There's even been some allusions to potential yield benefit from giving that soybean plant a little bit of stress. Is that something that we've seen here in Manitoba, or what do we know about that?
Well, I think it's really interesting. I think it's just one thing to add to the list of a lot of different techniques that we can use periodic stress to influence the architecture of soybeans, the different yield components. I think their data would say that there's about a 1.5 to 2 bushel per acre advantage to rolling at V1. So I think to me, bringing this to Western Canada, it's just nice to know that there's not a real negative effect to doing it. So if we do run into those situations pre-emerge where we can't get it done well, or we're going to make a mess, we can wait and expect it to be as good as a pre-emerge roll. On the flip side to that, if we do have rocks, if we have a lot more air seeders here in Western Canada, so we get a lot more ridges. So if you are at that high risk of loss, if we don't get it rolled, well, you know, if I like to say, don't waste a good day to roll. If we just had finished planting it, we look like we got really good conditions where we're not going to get compaction or soil erosion, just get it done. If you think about if we had waited to get that benefit post-emerge, we get into a period where it's just constant rain, we can't get out into the field, maybe the temperatures don't line up and we're getting a lot of damage. Well, you know, that 1.5 to 2 bushel benefit looks pretty small if you ingest a rock into the combine, right? So just balance that risk. If you don't have those high-risk scenarios, it's another good option to consider to maybe get that benefit.
Okay. Do we also lose a little bit of that seed to soil contact benefit if we roll in crop?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's just another thing to consider, right? So if you are in those different scenarios where you're looking at it and say, well, my furrows are open, I'm not sure if I'm going to fully germinate these plants, then yeah, it favors it. So I think it's just all about having all these different options, right? Looking at what you got out in the field, what the conditions are like that day, and then kind of adapting accordingly to making sure that, you know, we can try and target that benefit, but make sure we get the crop out of the ground first, right? So
there's also the mindset issue, or the weariness of wanting to take the roller into a crop that's already established and looking nice like this field.
Yeah, well, I don't blame them either. You know, it's really unnerving the first time you do it. But like I say, plants do stand up fairly quickly. And if you do target that hot afternoon at that V1 stage, really the damage is quite insignificant. So if you can potentially get the right variety that likes to branch especially, and you can use that rolling application to potentially initiate some branching, it could be a good consideration for sure. But yeah, if you're doing it for the first time, it's not the best feeling in the world watching them lay down.
Yeah. Finally then, Bryce, we've seen a fair bit of adoption of rolling already in Western Canada. Where do you see this headed in terms of timing and trends in terms of putting rollers to use in soybeans?
Yeah, well, I think especially when we get a year like this, where we have had so many problems just with the conditions that we're at, I think a lot of growers are using it as an opportunity to step back and say, was that the right thing to do? You know, can I plan to maybe start doing a post-emerge roll if I know that my clay soil is going to compact, or maybe I have this really light sandy soil that I know it's not going to have a lot of trash on the surface, so maybe I should just leave the ridges from the furrows and wait till after planting we get a little bit more plant growth where it's not going to blow quite as much. So I think that's the adoption there, is just looking at where we've gone wrong this past year. And in some cases it hasn't gone wrong, but definitely learning to use that other option that we have.
All right. Thanks for joining us once again, Bryce.
Thanks again.